Welcome back to Radio Entrepreneurs. I'm Jonathan Freedman, joined by our reporter, Marc Z, with the Marc Z Moment. Welcome back, and hi there, Marc.
John, good morning. Good to see you. Great to be here.
Always a pleasure to have you on, and you're always bringing us timely and topical things from the field of recruiting. What's the topic for today?
The topic for today that I thought share with our listeners that we're finding challenging is scheduling time for meetings and then everybody being able to make those meetings. And I think on the employer side, it gets challenging with everybody's schedule that have to meet the particular applicant, prospective employee. And on the employee side, it gets challenging because of their schedule. And we're in a world that most candidates are employed, so it's challenging to work out a schedule. And then where is the interview going to be? Is it going to be by video? Is it going to be in person? And a lot of employers want people to come in now that they're seriously considering to the office, but also there's logistics as far as commute into the office and what time people are available. So it's an interesting.
It's a logistical challenge.
It's a logistical challenge, and it's happening a lot more because schedules are challenging for employers that are having people meet people, and schedules are challenging for prospective employees.
Are you finding, and one of the things that I think is maybe driving some of this, that a lot of prospective employers have expanded the roster of folks that they want to meet prospective candidates, and so what used to be one or two or three people in an organization sometimes now is expanded to double and triple that, and so those logistics become challenging.
Correct. We're finding that too, because employers, which I can't argue with them, it's important to have buy-in with different individuals that the person is going to be meeting, and they want to be respectful to everyone's situation. At the same time, we're in a market where people have limited time, and that's been talked about, the idea of having less people meet somebody and give that responsibility and delegate it to the individuals that are part of the hiring committee. So
and I think also depending on the situation and the hire. I mean, I understand your point, but I think that vetting, the vetting process, if you will, should be shared by a lesser sized group, and then only those candidates who are really being considered can parade around, because I think it's fairness on both sides of the equation, right? You're taxing your people and giving them a lot of additional time to have to come up with time to meet people, but by the same token, you're asking a candidate to invest a fair amount of time with the more people that they meet.
Correct, and it takes a lot of time out of their schedules, and it takes a lot of time to make a lot of logistics work. A lot of times what happened is the employer wants a key person to meet the candidate, and that person is not available, and it affects other people that are part of the decision-making processes availability, and it becomes very challenging. And that's what we're seeing a lot of these days in terms of the hiring process.
And as we've talked about, in a tight hiring market where people are challenging, those blips in the process can really derail things and cause candidates to either abandon ship or take other opportunities that move more smoothly.
Correct. It slows down the hiring process, and the candidates have to make some decisions, and by pushing it out too long, it affects what happens in the hiring process. You're absolutely correct.
So, best laid plans and best laid advice, those of us that are in the business of providing advice, it's sometimes frustrating that, clients ask for guidance and advice and you give them your best thinking and then they go and do what they want to do.
Right.
So how forceful has the Marc Z team become in terms of trying to lay out a framework that that make sense for, candidates, and understanding that in a seller's market, the candidates being the sellers, which I think we still are in. Is it a situation where you say, look, this is what I see as a best practice, and what I highly recommend you stick to, a time frame, a framework, a structure, and lay it out for them, and hope that they follow it, and not to get too much pushback, and then best laid plans, right? In particular in the legal profession, schedules are changing all the time, demands are changing all the time, and so sometimes things don't work out. So you must be called upon to play that delicate balance of keeping the candidate engaged and interested, know that's really a great firm, great, great opportunity, and the reality that they may face, which is, sometimes it's messy in this kitchen.
Well, it's timing, and it's frustrating for us at times, but we make strong suggestions, and a lot of times the employers have their agenda that has to be followed. But and it also depends on the timing of the candidate, and just in terms of their need to make decisions. And we're trying, as far as to keep that delicate balance going and working and making suggestions. But it is affecting decisions. It's affecting people's availability to make certain interviews, and it's affecting the whole decision-making process.
Are you find, as we're in the summer, sort of proverbial dog days of summer, that it's even more challenging, as you have, a lot of people are vacations, things of that nature, and as you said, one cog or one link in the chain is out, and suddenly everything comes to a grinding halt.
Trying to get people's availability, it gets pushed out, and that gets to be a challenge, So I agree. It's the more and more time people are taking vacation. I mean, the 4th of July, that week, I remember that was a big challenge, because a lot of people were out that took that time off, So it's something that employers should be cognizant about. Candidates, hopefully they understand, and we try to explain to them in terms of timing, and but we also try to communicate to the employers, if candidates have certain decisions or have certain timing to make, they can't wait, and that's important.
Absolutely,
they have to make decisions.
I mean, really, at the end of the day, it's a two-way street here. It's got to work for both parties, and there can be a lot of nuances along the way that turn off one party versus another. I mean, I could see on the candidate side too, if you're looking for a position, you might not have as much control over your schedule as you hope. In particular, if you're an associate or a more junior position, where the expectation is that you have face time in your office, whatever that number is, 40, 60, 80 hours a week, and ducking out for 4 hours at a time doesn't work very well.
Correct. So trying to make things work and being able to do your job the right way, and trying to be proactive in your employment search, and the employers trying to be respectful as far as individuals' time. So it's a whole balance.
Good stuff. Marc Z, president of Marc Z Legal Staffing. If people want to reach out to you, talk more about what you're seeing in the marketplace, or have opportunities, or are searching out opportunities, what's the best way for them to reach out to you?
First of all, go on our wonderful Radio Entrepreneurs website, radioentrepreneurs.com. Google Marc Z, M-A-R-C, and the letter Z. Go to marczlegal.com, marczlegal.com, and 617-338-1300.
Wonderful. This has been a Marc Z Moment on Radio Entrepreneurs, and we'll be right back with another segment on Radio Entrepreneurs.